Hi folks, I wanted to take a little bit of time to share a large knife for those of you that perhaps prefer using a larger knife as opposed to taking an axe in the woods to either do your woodwork, processing firewood, delimbing, chopping, and this is a chopper. It'll handle batoning, and what you're looking at there is an ESEE Junglas. It's a very large knife. It comes in this sheath. And it didn't come with these scales. These are custom scales, G10 scales. The basic model just comes with Micarta scales on there, and I decided to get these and put them on there. I didn't really care for the other ones. They tend to collect a lot of dirt and soil, but this is the ESEE Junglas. It does come in this sheath as you see it here. The only exception is that I put some paracord on here, and I also added a lanyard to the pommel on the back there with the cord lock on the back. So this is just something I did for the knife and paracord. There's the back. It is MOLLE compatible if anyone has any questions about that. It does not swivel. This knife just lays stiff if you wear it on the belt, and that's one of the cons. As far as the sheath, I wish it did have a swivel point and it could move back and forth as opposed to being like a long plank. Drain hole at the bottom. It does have more attachment points here, so if you wanted to buy an aftermarket fire steel loop, Kydex one, and put it on there, that would be an option. And you could have a fire steel either mounted on the back here or in the front or up top here if you didn't have the paracord. I put that on there. So I would have a little cordage with me. Here's a little bit of a tensioner right there to tighten up the blade. And it has a snap here to retain the handle. And if you wanted more security, this flap in the back actually comes up, and I'll show you. And you could cinch it down, and the knife's never coming out that way. So you would have this point here, you would have the snap, and then you could do the tensioner to give you the most security. Now I don't think it's necessary. I think just with the amount of security offered by the tensioner, it's going to stay in here, and then you have this retention snap. Now I wish this snap opened up in the other direction, in this direction as opposed to that direction, because this tends to hang near the blade when it's extracted, so you do have to be careful when pulling out the knife that, as you can see right here, that it doesn't cut into it. See that? So, but otherwise I think it's functional. Oh, one more attachment point right here, forgot to mention that. And obviously you can weave a belt through the back here, a 2-inch belt with no problem. Plenty of room there for that. So that's a sheath. Not too bad. It's functional. It's going to work. And let's talk about the knife for those that are interested in large blades. Now this is a full-size knife, as you can see right there. It is 16.5 inches overall from the pommel to the tip, and that translates over to 41.9 centimeters. The blade is 10.3 inches long, or 26.1 centimeters, and this knife weighs 23 ounces, 652 grams. And I've seen knives that are heavier than this, up to 30 ounces. So this one is not as heavy as it could be. And as far as the thickness, it's also not as thick as some of the other knives. Some of the Bark Rivers or the Falknevens are up there, almost to 1/4 inch of steel. This one's coming in at .188 or 4.7 millimeters on the spine. But it's adequate. 1095 carbon steel. It will rust out if you don't treat this tip here, this exposed metal. I like using a Tuf-Cloth on there for rust protection, and that seems to work very, very well. This is the edge it came with was just a beveled edge shot down to a point, and this is convex. I did myself. I did it on the work sharp, and I think that's a better option. So that's my own edge on there. And there's a shot of the logo on the other side. It is a coated blade. And once again, this is the G10 scales that I put on here. These are the custom scales. These are optional. No Spec Camo, and that's a 3x3 pattern. There's the pommel in the back for hammering, for breaking clams, oysters, perhaps nuts. That would be an application for that. And the height of the blade, for those that are interested, is 2 inches. So the blade is 2 inches high. So this knife is very heavy duty. I would say the Bravo 3 is more heavy duty than this knife, but for the price point that you're getting this knife, it's not a bad buy. It comes in at about $155. And there's a shot of the other side for you. So once again, this is a chopper. Processing firewood, delimbing, shelter building. Those would be some applications for a knife of this size. And it is a large knife. It's a very large knife. Just to give you some scale, this is what it looks like next to my Bushcrafter. And substantially bigger, much heavier. So I'll set it down right here where you can still see it. Let me see if I can bring in a tad closer. But I wanted to share this knife with you because obviously some of you like to baton and you prefer a larger knife and you don't want to carry an axe. So this would be an option to not doing that. I like an axe. That's just my personal preference. I'd rather have a heavy duty axe with me. So once again, this is the ESEE Junglas. Thanks for tuning in, and see you all next time.